A story is told about two children, a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. They were brothers, who gave their mother a house plant for Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day. They had used their own money, and she was thrilled. The older child said with a sad face, "There was a bouquet at the flower shop that we wanted to give you, but it was too expensive. It had a ribbon on it that said, 'Rest in peace.'" A parent, particularly a mother, gets little chance to rest in peace this side of heaven. Parenting is intensive shepherding 24 hours per day. So today is also known as Good Shepherd Sunday beside Mother's Day. This is the day when the church recalls the relationship between God and his people as it is described in the image of shepherd and sheep. Each year, the gospel reading focuses on some aspect of Jesus as the Good Shepherd. This year, Jesus said, "My sheep hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me. I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish." Can we hear the voice of the shepherd? Does the cacophony of our daily lives, the constant and sometimes overwhelming flood of input we receive, drown out the voice of the shepherd? In the gospel, Jesus calls himself as the shepherd. The Bible speaks about two kinds of shepherds. One is the hired hand who sees shepherding is a job to keep depending on the conditions of service. Seeing wolves or thieves coming, he would not risk his life for his sheep. He would flee for dear life and leave the flock at the mercy of the invaders. The second is the shepherd, owner of the flock. He does not only know each of his flock individually, but calls each one by name and takes care of each one so that no one will snatch a sheep out of his hand. He will protect them, and he will be the judge who will grant his flock eternal life. When attacked by wolves or thieves, he would defend them even to the extent of laying down his life for them. Jesus identifies himself with the shepherd owner. He goes on to make explicit what is implied in his claim to be the shepherd of God's flock when he said, "The Father and I are one," meaning that the Father sent Jesus and giving him full authority to act in his name. And in turn, Jesus delegated his chosen disciples to act with full authority in his name. The second reading picks up the theme when it mentions the lamb as the shepherd. This lamb knows the sheep and will give them shelter, feed them, take away their thirst, protect them from the heat of the sun, guide them to springs of life-giving water, and wipe away every tear from their eyes. We are the flock the lamb is protecting, and the responsorial psalm spells it out for us, saying, "We are his people, the sheep of his flock." What a beautiful and loving image of care and protection. But something about it makes us hesitate. Do I really want a shepherd? We are drawn to the image it presents, but we sometimes get annoyed at the idea of not being independent. Do I want the kind of love, protection, and care Jesus offers? I remember in our infirmary, that was in the seminary, a physically challenged priest fell and somebody ran to help him up. But he refuses help, saying, "I can do it myself." But every time he tried to stand up, he fell. So our stiff-necked stubbornness to do things our own way is what led Israel, God's chosen people, to forget who they were and why they had been chosen. They began to lose sight of the one who had offered them this special relationship. And in today's first reading, we see that when the chosen people drifted away, the Gentiles were delighted to accept the word of the Lord. His voice may be drowned by many other voices around us, and it is not easy to discern which is God's voice. But like a baby who recognizes intimately the voice of his mother, who keeps guard of him, we too can recognize God's voice through our personal relationship with him. We know his voice and we follow him. So today is also called a Vocation Sunday. This is not only a call to the priesthood or to sisterhood, but it is a call extended to every baptized person to play his or her role for the good of the community. We need to see the world through the eyes of God. We need faith. With the eyes of faith, we will see our world, a place where the poor are not eyesores of the society, but opportunities to show our kindness and generosity. The women are not objects but subjects who can determine themselves. The youth are not a problem but a promise, as well as the children. The laborers are not machines but partners, and the unborn is seen not as a burden but a gift from God. The Lord is our shepherd. He will either lead us to safety and peace, or he may follow us to find us when we are lost or astray.